In the 2026 e-commerce landscape, your platform is not a software choice. It is a mathematical ceiling on your valuation. Most founders make this decision based on YouTube tutorials and marketing fluff. That is why 80% of them will see their margins bleed out by Q3. Welcome to the Stack Anatomy. We strip away the BS to dissect business tech stacks with surgical precision. Today, Shopify versus WooCommerce. We are not going to talk about which one has prettier templates. We are going to expose the architectural flaws, the hidden app taxes, and the brutal financial thresholds that dictate which platform will actually compound your capital. Let's start with WooCommerce. The industry loves to sell you the open source, it's 100% free narrative. This is the ultimate infrastructure trap. WooCommerce is not an e-commerce platform. It is a plugin forced onto WordPress, a system fundamentally designed for blogging. Let's talk about the technical debt nobody warns you about: database bloat. As a CEO, you need to understand the WP_post meta table. When your store surpasses 50,000 historical orders, your database becomes morbidly obese. Every single time a customer searches for a product, the server has to crawl through millions of rows of unindexed, chaotic data. To prevent your checkout from taking 7 seconds to load during Black Friday, you cannot rely on a $20 hosting plan. You are forced to implement Redis memory caching, dedicated Elasticsearch servers, and custom database refactoring. The free platform suddenly requires a $120,000 a year senior DevOps engineer just to keep it breathing. With WooCommerce, you don't own a scalable brand. You own an IT management firm that occasionally ships products. Furthermore, let us discuss the plugin conflict matrix. To make WooCommerce function like a modern enterprise store, you will stitch together 40 different plugins built by 40 different developers who do not communicate. When a security patch updates your payment gateway and it conflicts with your caching plugin, your checkout dies. In 2026, 1 hour of downtime during a peak advertising window does not just cost you sales. It actively incinerates your paid traffic budget and poisons your pixel data. But before you dismiss it completely, we must talk about its undeniable superpower: organic leverage. If your business model relies heavily on SEO and content marketing, WordPress is an absolute juggernaut. You have 100% control over your URL architecture and taxonomy. You can build deeply nested, highly complex content silos that Google's crawlers love. This is a level of organic structural control that hosted platforms simply cannot match. Which brings us to Shopify, the velvet handcuffs. Shopify solves the IT nightmare. The server architecture is practically bulletproof, but you are trading technical debt for structural limitation and aggressive taxation. Let's look at the hard code. Shopify's underlying liquid architecture has a brutal hard-coded limit: 100 variants and 3 options per product. If you sell t-shirts, you are fine. But if you sell customized auto parts, industrial hardware, or anything requiring 500 compatibility variables, Shopify's core database will literally reject your business model. To bypass this, you must install bloated third-party apps that inject heavy JavaScript into your front end, slowing your page load by 3 seconds and actively killing your conversion rate. And remember that SEO advantage we just talked about with WooCommerce? Shopify strips that away. They force you into rigid URL structures. Everything must sit under /products or /collections. You cannot customize the root taxonomy. Now, let us dissect the checkout dictatorship. On standard Shopify plans, you do not have access to your own checkout code. It is locked. If you want to add a custom B2B field, a complex upsell logic, or modify the checkout flow, you are forced to upgrade to Shopify Plus. That starts at $2,000 a month, or a percentage of your revenue, just for the privilege of editing your own checkout experience. Then comes the Shopify tax. Unless you use their proprietary gateway, you are penalized on every single transaction. But it gets worse when you expand globally. With Shopify Markets, they automatically apply a currency conversion fee on cross-border sales. You are losing 1.5 to 2% of your gross revenue simply for accepting international money. You are paying protection money. As your gross merchandise volume scales to $5 million, $10 million, or $20 million, that percentage fee becomes an operational hemorrhage. Let's perform a live total cost of ownership calculation for a brand generating $5 million annually. Because the core Shopify platform is intentionally stripped down, you are forced to rent your functionality. You need Klaviyo for email automation, $1,500 a month. You need Gorgeous for customer support, $500. Yotpo for reviews, $800. Recharge for subscriptions, $400. Add your Shopify Plus base fee of $2,000 and your external gateway penalties. Before you manufacture a single product, your software and transaction tax bill is easily $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You are sharecropping on Toby Lutke's land. And if your margins are thin, the landlord will eat your profit. Finally, we must dissect the exit strategy. What happens when your company decides to leave? With WooCommerce, you own the database. Migrating away is a technical challenge, but it is entirely within your control. You take your data and you walk. With Shopify, leaving is a hostage negotiation. You cannot export your customer passwords. You cannot easily extract your subscription vault. They make it intentionally painful to migrate to a competitor. You are locked in, not just by convenience, but by data gravity. So, how do you execute the decision? Stop guessing. Here's the exact mathematical threshold for 2026. Apply this matrix to your P&L immediately. You choose Shopify if, and only if, 1. Your catalog is under 1,000 SKUs. 2. Your gross margin is strictly over 50%. 3. Your primary growth engine is paid social media arbitrage, not complex SEO. And 4. You are a B2C business that does not require complex wholesale quoting. If you fit this profile, you are buying Shopify's conversion-optimized checkout. Swallow your pride, pay the tax, ignore the back end, and focus 100% of your capital on front-end customer acquisition. You choose WooCommerce if, and only if, 1. You have over 10,000 highly complex SKUs. 2. You require deep, multi-tiered B2B pricing logic. 3. Your gross margins are below 30%. And 4. Content marketing and highly structured SEO are the lifeblood of your traffic. If you try to build a complex wholesale structure on Shopify, the app, subscriptions, and external gateway penalties will turn your net profit negative. With WooCommerce, you own the database. You can build custom logic without being taxed on every swipe. But you must have an elite, in-house technical lead. Stop choosing infrastructure based on emotion. Calculate your leverage. Protect your margins. Subscribe to the Stack Anatomy. We'll see you in the next dissection.